Welcome back to Outside Views, and oh boy, bro, we need to talk. Because we talked about this division in Britain, especially in political Britain before. But now it's a really new us against the others, or us and the others. And a role model for this, once again, is Nigel Farage. I know I talk about Nigel a lot on this channel recently, but it's because of course, of his success in the polls. We will see if that will be as successful in the elections later. But he is kind of a key figure here. You will all know that Farage did a really big comeback after Brexit, where he was one of the heroes with all the anti-migration rhetoric, and all that helped to boost Reform UK's polling numbers. And he even kind of brought this to a new level. Recently, he talked about abolishing human rights laws, about mass deportations of asylum seekers, and he's always calling that an invasion and not migration, and a real danger to the public and stuff like that. And a little bit also was implanted, of course, into his Restore Justice operation that we talked about recently as well. And because even that program is pushing the British migration debate even further. And one very interesting point is there that the British, what they usually are tagged as the mainstream media, are really given Nigel Farage a significant platform now, with some even supporting what they call his tough stance. And even newspapers and stuff like the Daily Mail, where you would have thought, they are with the Tories, but not with reform. And now they kind of swing to reform in some places. And all of this is shifting the political climate even further and, of course, bringing up more public anger. Especially the people from outside the UK. I know I have about a third of my viewers are from the UK, the rest from the rest of the world. But I think everybody will know about the protests in Epping and everything around the Bell Hotel and that really was kind of an exacerbation of, is that an English word as well? Exacerbating is something I use usually, but does the word exacerbation exist as well? Please let me know. And that really pushed that to a higher level once again. And Anand Menon from UK and Changing Europe, I guess, said that there is kind of an alarming speed at the moment about what can be said and what cannot be said. I mean, we have this discussion in a lot of countries, even between countries. I mean, we have different laws here in Germany on free speech. We have freedom of expression here, not free speech as they think in the US that could be, because in Germany you cannot just insult another person. In the US, obviously you can. And so the discussion is everywhere, not only in the UK. But there are really people now are complaining about the decline of white Britons in some cities, and Reform is taking that to even stoke some fear in certain cities by saying they will need private street patrols, and that is really going completely out of hand at the moment, and people really need to calm down, because they're now in general are putting the words migrant and Muslim on the same level and in connection with the word rapist. Of course, there are cases, but this generalizing that's happening there at the moment is quite dangerous, and it will really boost the whole problem of extreme behavior as well. Migration is now the most important political issue for almost half of all Britons. And that's higher than economy and healthcare, which is crazy, by the way, looking at the problems that Brexit brought, that some governments brought into the topics of economy and healthcare, but still that's the public perception. And reform is, as I said in I think it was 2 days ago in the video, that it always works with these simplistic slogans that they're using. I mean, you know that reform is always offering some catchy, unfeasible solutions, and that obviously works with the people. Even if you know that Farage's calls for mass deportations are often, on the one hand, legally, and on the other hand, politically impossible. From practically, not to talk about, where do you want to bring them if the country doesn't take them back? Nevertheless, they are just ignoring the facts, and their supporters are ignoring facts. And it's the same we see in many countries nowadays. Simplistic solutions are offered, facts are ignored. And I see that in the comments below my videos as well a lot. So either ignore facts or twist facts. That's kind of a common game nowadays. And that really is making that very problematic. Of course, there's always a little hint of truth hidden somewhere. Yes, we have to talk about migration, but we have to talk about the 3 forms of migration. We have to talk about asylum seekers as one group. We have to talk about war refugees as another group, and they have completely different backgrounds and futures usually. And we have to talk about migrants. For that, there are in the UK, there's now this point-based migration law, etc. But here in Germany, that's treated a little bit differently, not as good as it could be. And my own party is guilty of not doing that early enough as well. I know that. But we have to really separate those 3 different groups. But if you mix them all together and then, claim that all of them are the same as the illegal migrants coming via the channel with a boat, then we have a problem. And that happens when you just stoke fear and just deliver simple solutions. And on the other hand, you have a government there with a Labour government that is completely caught off guard by the whole thing. At least that's the perception you get from an outside view if you look into the UK. And they are completely being pushed into a defensive position. And even in some cases, Starmer has adopted some right-wing language with talking about his warning of an island of strangers, or what we could hear from Starmer here. And they completely miscalculated what Farage and his party are doing and how to work against this. We talked about this previously on this channel. And if you adopt their language, it will not get the voters from Farage's party back to your party. It will just, they might go to other parties, if not to Farage. And then you have even more fragmentation than you have now in the UK. So in the end, there are the dangers that they will just compromise, because the radical right cannot be defeated by meet them halfway and going far more extreme than you would ever go just to catch up some of the voters. And you need to paint a bigger picture here. And you really have to try to get through with facts and with factual and working policies. And that's what's lacking. I know that I'm saying this a lot in my videos at the moment, but you cannot repair the social cohesion and get rid of the divisions within the British society by either ignoring things or by copying things from the extremes. So you really have to bring proper solutions. I'm saying the same about our government in Germany here. If our new government, they are now in charge for about 120 days, will not use this autumn to bring some real repairs to what happened in the last 3 years. So you cannot do that overnight, because especially the last 3 years were really bad in Germany, especially for our economy, and not to talk about 2015. And yes, I know who ruled then, and I know what I think about that. But if they don't manage to do that, we will be in much bigger trouble here as well. And so Labour has to do their homework in the UK for this. But I'm really looking forward what you have to say about this. So please let me know in the comments below the video. And if you want to see another video right now, the next one is right here in the end screen. I'll see you there. I'll be back.